Jr. bids to wreak havoc, rewriting his own heavyweight narrative.
And I'm going to win here the same way that I won June 1st, and I'm going to prove everybody wrong.
As we edge closer and closer to having a newly crowned undisputed king. December 7th, the clash on the dunes. Joshua versus Ruiz 2. Welcome to a Motivedia presentation. 15,000-seat arena. It opens the doors for two of today's biggest sporting icons to cement history of their own.
I'm going to make another history, and I'm going to win here.
大家好，老师从业中医男科30余年，帮助了数千名海内外华人朋友通过中药调理重回男性雄风。如果你也存在房事时间短、勃起无力、硬度差、中途疲软、肾虚、前列腺炎等问题，现在就加中医老师微信574-993-200，纯中药，一人一方，治根治本，帮助你持续坚挺20至40分钟，补肾壮阳，延时助勃，彻底告别快男软男。记住微信574-993-200。
After all, as the 5th fastest man to win a heavyweight title, and with 8 world title fights to his name, Joshua has taken more risks than any other heavyweight on his rise through the ranks, and he's not always had it completely his own way. So now, looking to channel the same energy that saw him through the Klitschko fight, we see a slimmer, leaner, and faster version of the Brit coming to the Middle East.
Hopefully by the time the fight comes, it'll be the best version of me, better than I was 6 months ago.
And where the loss came, not through Ruiz's doing, but through his own complacency, AJ's fire for the rematch will be burning like no other night of his career.
And if I let the loss on June 1st define me, who knows what the next 10 years of my boxing career can go on to be.
That summer night for Ruiz Jr. has been described in many ways. A shock, a fluke, or the inevitable.
The biggest upset in 2019 is going to happen.
Though with that touching post-fight press conference came a sense of entitlement.
Our lives is going to change. We don't have to struggle no more.
In the first fight, Joshua came in almost 10 kilos lighter, with Ruiz weighing in at almost 270 pounds. Slimming down, AJ would have to take off another 6 to be the weight we saw him against Parker.
A lot of people felt that when he lost to Ruiz that he's too muscle bound. You know, that's part of his problem.
Factors that, depending on the tactics for the fight, could make all the difference.
So now I'm apparently fighting the quickest hands and the best fighter in the division. Once I beat him, I want everyone to bow to me and tell me how great I am.
With a team of consummate professionals as deep as any other in boxing, Joshua's training camp will have covered all bases.
Beautiful. That's what we got ring on.
And so, with all the rumors and issues from the first camp, it will be interesting to see in what frame of mind Joshua enters the ring on the 7th. After all, in the words of Tyson Fury, every fighter has a boogeyman.
It wasn't like he landed some lucky punch. This guy was giving him a beatdown. I thought he lost every single round.
Boogeyman or not, up until what many consider the concussion shot, the first fight looked just like any other AJ fight. And with Ruiz down in the 3rd, it looked to be done and dusted early on. And so the rematch shines a light on both men. Can Joshua keep the Mexican fighter at bay as he looks to unload on the way in? Or can Ruiz use his guise and offensive prowess to lure Joshua into another standoff? For the past 6 months, the what-ifs would have played over and over in the minds of Joshua and his team. Scrutiny that can either have helped them right their wrongs or create even more pressure going into the rematch.
He wants to try and beat Ruiz and get his titles back. He doesn't want to fight lower level opponents, and that's the reality of it.
Whereas Ruiz, with a thud that sits somewhere between Fury's keep you at bay power and Wilder's bring the house down power, will be looking to upset the betting odds all over again.
Anthony, don't underestimate this little fat boy. I'm coming for you.
Joshua will enter with much more respect, aiming to get behind his jab and and look to counter with big single or 1-2 shots at only the most perfect openings. Much like the measured and mindful tact, self-labeled as boxing finesse, that beat Tackham and Parker 18 months ago.
The old saying is, the right hand can take you around the block, but a good jab will take you around the world.
Whereas there is no doubt that Ruiz Jr., despite being knocked down for the first time in his career, brings more of the same energy to the rematch.
You know, he got knocked down 4 times. He gave up, in my opinion.
And if the fight catches fire, turning into a trade-off, the fight could swing into the Mexican champion's favor once again.
But I think I can see it happening again.
Originally considered a mismatch, we now see a near 50-50 matchup on a night that will put either man right on the doorstep of heavyweight unification.
Judge goes now, man, you're boxing at the bell.
And regardless of outcome, with Wilder versus Fury now looking set for February next year, and Alexander Usyk standing as mandatory for the winner, the division carries huge momentum into 2020. For what could be the year we finally see the crown settle on the new, undisputed heavyweight champion, the sporting world will stand still as we see 3 belts on the line, 2 humble champions, and only 1 winner. Joshua versus Ruiz, the rematch.